Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Biohazard 3 Real Survival. In the last episode, well, we said farewell to the Nemesis and we proceeded to make good our escape, and we even managed to get some equipment to boot, not to mention the famous Tyrant Slayer known as the Mighty Rocket Launcher. Unfortunately, our way out was hijacked by none other than Nicholai Zinoviev, who taunted us and opened fire on us, but we decided to mince words with him. At which Nicholai bragged about his plans to use his position as the only surviving monitor to get more money out of the Umbrella Corporation. He is a cold-hearted mercenary after all, through and through. And unfortunately, he flew away in the helicopter, beating us to our survival, leaving Carlos, Jill, and myself to find another way out of here. But I'm not looking forward to our chances.
I am not going to give up!
I don't think there's anything more we can do. And unless we can actually find a way to open this emergency shutter, we're pretty much doomed.
Jill! That's it. We've got to find a way out of here. Now!
And so he goes.
Warning. Missile attack confirmed.
Oh dear.
Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Emergency level D. All personnel evacuate immediately.
All the stakes have been raised, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that way is shut now. But this way is open. And that radar just set off a timer. So now we are really against the clock here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my word. Oh! How do you do that? As for you over there, you can fight the dust. Oh my word. Stay down. The clock is ticking. Is there anything down here that we can use? Well, there's an incinerator manual. The incinerator plant is one of the facilities that burns the disposable items which are sent from the laboratory. The incinerator burns the waste materials that cannot be decomposed at the preheat. It also supplies electricity to the facility by a thermal power electricity generator. Part of the electricity is stored in the big battery installed in the facility's underground area. The electricity is used as an auxiliary power source. The auxiliary power circuit will be activated once the 3 auxiliary circuit units are properly placed in their sockets. In case the circuits are not automatically or connected automatically, a person can connect them manually to activate the system. It's probably actually going to be useful. And there is nothing else. That missile is fast approaching. That missile is fast approaching. Keep moving, Jill. Is there anything on the shelf? Yeah, shotgun shells. I'll take the shotgun shells. Load. But back to that, and out the door here. Oh my god. Worst possible scenario has occurred. Oh my word. car wreck of sorts. Is there anything we can use? Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is very bad. That missile is fast approaching. There is something on the ground here that we can examine. Classified photo file. In my opinion, I feel that it's too early to use this Paracelsus sword in actual fighting. However, in order to acquire the G virus that Umbrella has developed, it will be of great help to us. The power of the rail cannon is satisfactory, but please note that it is still having a few remaining problems. Technology Division Colonel Franklin Hunt. The classified photo file has been filed. And, yeah, looks like the US military were interested in William Birkin's G-Virus after all. The fact that they were actually planning to use an experimental rail cannon in order to try and get it. Unfortunately for the United States military, the USS beat them to the punch, although things did not entirely work out in their favor. William used the Golgotha virus on himself to become an inhuman monstrosity, and further accelerated Raccoon City to the doom that he had consigned upon it to try and keep Umbrella from getting their hands on the G-Virus. None of that matters right now, because that missile is fast approaching, and the body of a huge human-shaped creature. That is a T-00. A burnt smell permeates the air. That, yeah, that was a T-00. Oh my word. And there is no way back. And that number is, counting down fast. Yeah, that number is definitely counting down fast. But, believe it or not, adventurers, there is, something else here. There is one more thing to, note here. You will notice something. You will notice that, well, believe it or not, we've gotten all of the files here in Biohazard 3, but you will notice that doing so will have replaced the Game Instruction Manual A with a very different, unique file. Jill Valentine's Personal Diary. Now, the only way to get this rather unique file is to get the files all in order, as I did, but you also have to read them from start to finish and then press exit. If you fail to do this, then you will not meet the preconditions for reading Jill's diary. Now, we are running out of time, but we're going to read Jill's diary and see her innermost thoughts. So here we go. Jill's diary. August 7th. 2 weeks have passed since that day. My wounds have been healed, but I just can't forget it. For most people, it's history now. But for me, whenever I close my eyes, it all comes back clearly. Zombies eating people's flesh, and the screams of my teammates dying. No, the wounds in my heart are not healed yet. August 13th. Chris has been causing a lot of trouble recently. What's with him? He seldom talks to the other police members and is constantly irritated. The other day he punched Elrin of the boys' crime department just for accidentally splashing Chris's face with coffee. I immediately stopped Chris, but when he saw me, he just gave a wink and walked away. I wonder what happened to him. August 15th, midnight. Chris, who has been on a leave of absence for a vacation, called me, so I visited his apartment. As soon as I walked into his room, he showed me a couple of pieces of paper. They were part of a virus research report entitled simply as G. Then Chris told me that the nightmare still continues. He went on to say that it's not over yet. Ever since that day, he has been fighting all by himself without rest, without even telling me. August 24th. Jill left town today to go to Europe. Barry told me that he would send his family to Canada and then he would follow Chris. I decided to remain in Raccoon City for a while because I know that the research facility in this city will be very important to this entire case. In a month or so, I'll be joining with them somewhere in Europe. That's when my real battle begins. Oh, Jill, if only you knew then what you know now. But it also illustrates a very important point, is that despite being a veteran member of STARS, despite being a trainee of a Delta Force operative, Jill Valentine is still very much human. For her, the trauma of the events of the Arclay murders and the Mansion incidents, the deaths of the various Bravo team members, sans Rebecca Chambers, who was the only living member, and the nightmares that she had been having between August and September are a testament to the cruelty and malevolence of Umbrella's creations. But nonetheless, we've also learned, of course, something that we knew about from Chris's diary in Biohazard 2 was that Chris himself got wind of the Golgotha project and was investigating it all on his own. Of course, Jill Valentine had hoped to investigate the Raccoon City laboratory, but as fate would have it, this would not be the case. But that number on the radar receiver is definitely ticking down to doomsday. And if we are not careful, ladies and gentlemen, we could definitely go the same way of Raccoon City. If that missile hits us while we're still here. But that is going to be it for this relatively short episode of Let's Play Biohazard 3 Real Survival. And when we return, hopefully we can find a way out of this rather bizarre looking room. We need a true miracle at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, dear adventurers, until next we meet.